It's 10 o'clock on the dot, Central Africa time. Good evening and welcome to the news brought to you by Swarton Television. I am Sanibo Ngwane alongside Stelo Gnen on sign language. Great to have you with us. We begin here first, your headlines tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister has returned home following her official visit to Italy, where she was representing His Majesty King Mswati III and the nation at the funeral of Pope Francis. The Minister of Health has received a fleet of 23 cars and laptops from the country coordinating mechanism through a grant from the Global Fund. In the sports news, Umbutwe Swarton Defence Force Athletics Club is amongst the most decorated and dominating clubs in the country when it comes to long-distance running. We begin here on the news in detail. Our first story, His Majesty King Mswati III says job creation exercise throughout the country is crucial for the benefit of Mswati. Speaking during the blessing and commissioning of Usizo Plaza and Hluti, His Majesty also revealed that such projects should be taken care of.
The Deputy Prime Minister is emphasizing the strong diplomatic ties between the Kingdom of Eswatini and the Vatican. She says the nation joins the world in honoring the legacy of Pope Francis and in standing with those affected by his passing, whereas the Catholic body of the Kingdom of Eswatini held a memorial service of the Pope on Wednesday. Reporting Samgal Siwe Koza, King Mswati III International Airport.
The Minister of Commerce, the Honourable Mangoba Khumalo, says it is His Majesty's wish that SMEs migrate to being millionaires and tell a story of success. The Minister was speaking during the launch of this year's Entrepreneur of the Year Awards at the Happy Valley Hotel at Zulin on Wednesday.
The Entrepreneur of the Year Awards will be held for the 19th time this year. Over time, past winners of the awards are doing well in business so far. Speaking during the launch of this year's awards, the Minister of Commerce, Mangoba Khumalo, says the ministry recently launched a policy aimed at assisting SMEs and SMMEs.
Our ministry is committed to ensuring the execution of this directive by His Majesty. There are therefore a number of directives and initiatives that government is working on to support MSMEs. Number 2, to strengthen business support, which is the role that SEDCO plays. Number 3 is human capital development. We want to make sure that when people are given an opportunity, they do have the human capital required to execute. Number 4, access to finance. Number 5, access to markets and value chains. Number 6, entrepreneurial culture. And lastly, infrastructure and technology. We want to emphasize in digitization and we want to make sure that we leapfrog digital advancement as a country.
SEDCO Managing Director Ketsuwe Mhlanga thanked the Ministry of Commerce for supporting them annually during the awards.
Since its inception, this award ceremony has grown over the years, and we really value the entrepreneurs for the work that they do.
FNB CEO Chosan Dlamini announced a sponsorship of 1.7 million emalangeni for this year's awards.
I am therefore pleased to announce that the joint FNB Eswatini's and FNB Eswatini Foundation sponsorship package for this year's EYA stands at 1.7 million emalangeni. This sponsorship package covers the grand prize for the national winner, as well as the prize monies for national and regional winners. On top of the grand prize, we are also proud to sponsor 7 categories in both the regional and national stages.
The organizations and companies then made check presentations in supporting this year's awards. Reporting, I am Kian Msibi at the Happy Valley Zulwini.
The Minister of Health has received a fleet of 23 cars and laptops from the country coordinating mechanism through a grant from the Global Fund. The donation took place at nature premises on Wednesday.
The 23 cars and laptops that are donated will play a huge role in boosting the health sector. Receiving the cars from the country coordinating mechanism, The Minister of Health, Honorable Mduduzi Matsabula, says they come at an opportune time when the ministry is doing all it can to normalize the situation within the ministry.
4 vehicles for the National Tuberculosis Control Program, NTCP. 4 vehicles for the Rural Health Motivators Program, RHMP. 1 vehicle for the Eswatini National AIDS Program, ENAP. 2 vehicles for the Strategic Information Department, SID. We further acknowledge and appreciate the recent delivery of 8 additional vehicles to various departments under the Ministry of Health. The ministry eagerly anticipates the arrival of more support through the grant.
Nature Chairperson Dr. Njabuli Soshongwe says the help from Global Fund will go a long way, especially in fighting HIV.
We enhance outreach, supervision, and community-level service delivery, whilst also supporting real-time data collection and program monitoring across all our 4 regions in Eswatini.
The Country Coordinating Mechanism Chairperson Lungile Shongwe says special appreciation goes to Global Fund, who assisted the country in its different needs.
The CCM is basically the overseer of the implementation of the grant and remains committed to supporting PR in achieving the national goals outlined in the national strategic plans. Eswatini has been a proud beneficiary of the Global Fund's support for more than 20 years, and this long-standing partnership is a testament to our shared commitment to improving health and well-being of people of Eswatini.
The total cost value of the donation is 17,896,196. Reporting MKN MCB, Babane.
Now, on Wednesday, Good Shepherd Catholic College of Health Sciences had a capping ceremony where students were taking their nursing oath, vowing to take care of the sick, to pass their lives in purity and practice their profession faithfully. Good Shepherd Catholic Chief Executive Officer says the students have to treat every patient with dignity and also thanked the presence of Her Royal Highness Senator Princess Temaswati.
Good Shepherd Chief Executive Officer Muzi Dlamini emphasized the importance of caring for the sick as Good Shepherd Catholic College of Nursing Science. Good Shepherd Chief Executive Officer Muzi Dlamini emphasized the importance of caring for the sick as Good Shepherd Catholic College of Health Sciences students were capping and striping on Wednesday, taking their nurses' pledge, vowing to abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous.
This is a very important event, which is a tradition. The period nakasangena simadmita ngezifundo takhe sibese sithi-ke asesibeke eceleni izifundo sibone ukuthi wena isipilo sakho nje utawubona imvelo.
Addressing the students, Her Royal Highness Senator Princess Temaswati encouraged the capping students to lead with empathy.
The cap and stripe you received today are more than just symbols. They embody your hard work, perseverance, and the values that define your profession. They remind you of your responsibilities to yourself and to those you will serve. Think back to when you first embarked on this journey of making nursing the profession of choice. Remember that initial spark, that calling to make a difference in the lives of others.
Lubombo Regional Administrator Themba Msibi welcomed Her Royal Highness Princess Temaswati to the region. Nampumelelo Makuchwa extended their gratitude on behalf of the capping and striping students.
The
tifungo leti timcoka ngaloko ukuthi kuko konke lesitawukwenta njengabonesi kusimela kule tifungo. Kule tifungo leti sikhumbutako masisemsebentini ukuthi thine sifunzeleleni lo msebenzi ukuthi sibe bonesi. Kule tifungo leti tisenta sibeketele kuto tonke tingcinamba lesidibana nato sisenta umsebenzi wethu. Kule tifungo leti enta ukuthi sisite tigulane tethu ngelithambo ngoba siyati ukuthi lokuba sita kwethu sakufungela.
The nurses' pledge entails to never administer any harmful drug and to do all in their powers to maintain and elevate the standard of their profession. Reporting, I am Tembelihle Makuchwa at Stegi.
Now, the legal profession is under the spotlight in senior lawyer's contempt of court case as High Court Judge Titus Mlangeni has charged attorney Mangaliso Makakula with contempt of court. Now, the charges against Makakula stem from a case previously presided over by Judge Mlangeni involving Kalpe Eswatini and Ngamase Investments. Makakula is also the president of Law Society of Eswatini.
The matter involving Kalpe Eswatini and Ngamase Investments was heard by Judge Titus Mlangeni in chambers. The case referred to Ngamase Investments Director Kalu and was described as a secret hearing. In court documents, the purpose of the proceeding was to interdict Ngamase Investment from continuing to remove Gulf's fuel tanks, canopy and other assets from the Big Tree filling station in Mahala. The matter was held in ex parte, and the judge issued an interim order against Ngamase Investments. The judge did not take kindly remarks by senior lawyer Mangaliso Makakula, who referred to the ex parte proceedings as secret hearing. He then charged the lawyer with contempt of court. Makakula also appealed the interim order at the Supreme Court of Appeal. Without seeking a leave of appeal, the court interpreted these actions as attacks on its integrity. On Wednesday, the contempt of court case against senior lawyer Makakula was heard by Judge Mlangeni. After hearing arguments from Advocate Tabane Masuku and former National Prosecuting Authority boss Moses Similane, High Court Judge Titus Mlangeni reserved judgment in the matter. The case has stirred strong debate over legal decorum, judicial authority, and boundaries of professional conduct. Representing Makakula, Advocate Masuku pushed back strongly against the charges, arguing that there was no intention to insult the court and that Makakula was simply fulfilling his duties as legal representative. Advocate Masuku acknowledges that the language used in some of the documents may have been robust, but denied that it amounted to contempt. He reminds the court that the statements originated from client affidavits, not from Makakula himself. He appeals for a balanced and impartial handling of the matter, cautioning against setting a precedent that could intimidate fearless legal representation. Advocate Masuku stresses that contempt should not be used to silence critical voices. He adds that a reprimand will have sufficed if the court felt disrespected. Judge Mlangeni, however, emphasizes the seriousness of the charges. He points to Makakula's leadership position within the law society, stating that such stature demands high responsibility and respect toward the judiciary. The judge states that courts must protect their dignity. He says the phrase secret hearing is misleading and damaging, especially coming from someone in Makakula's position. The courtroom atmosphere was tense. At one point, the director of Ngamase Investment, Kalu, was removed from court for giggling during proceedings. The judge reminded everyone that the courtroom is a place of respect. A ruling is expected on Friday, 30 May 2025. Makakula remains out of custody in the interim. The case has raised critical questions within the legal community, like what protections should attorneys have when defending their clients. The judgment is expected to set an important precedent on how legal professionals engage with the judiciary and the boundaries of courtroom expression. Reporting Fortune Dlangamandla, High Court.
Now, last week, Minister of Finance, Honorable Neil Rickenback, joined world leaders in Washington, D.C. for the prestigious World Bank and IMF meetings. Top of the agenda for Eswatini was smarter debt management. The minister revealed that talks focused on strategies to improve Eswatini's debt handling, including a plan to convert World Bank loans into rands to ease payments and shorten repayment time frames.
The minister shares the key outcomes from the IMF World Bank meetings.
We are working with the team with the World Bank also working on converting our funding that we have with the World Bank, which is currently a lot of it is US dollar-based funding, into ZAR-based funding for South African rand-based funding. We had meetings with the US State Department just to clearly understand the situation in Eswatini regarding the tariffs and regarding the US aid cuts. Very healthy meetings with them, and just made sure that everyone understands where we are on the relationship front with the USA, and those were productive. We believe that in time we'll be able to get through this situation with the cuts and the tariffs based on the meetings that we've had.
Eswatini's economic growth projections remain unchanged for now. This was said by the minister in reaction to the revised World Economic Forecast, currently being at 2.8% from 3.3% and 1% for South Africa from 1.5% for the year 2025, as projected by the International Monetary Fund.
Because Eswatini isn't affected virtually by the tariff wars, not directly, there might be an indirect effect through our major trading partners, but at this stage we haven't looked at reworking our forecasts yet.
Eswatini's economy was projected to grow by 8.3% this year. Eswatini's total public debt reached 35.5 billion emalangeni in December 2024, representing 40.7% of the gross domestic product, and this debt includes loans from the World Bank. Reporting, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa Mbabane.
With those financial stories, we segue nicely into the world of business, where we take a look at financial indicators to get a sense of how markets performed today in the Up Next Financial Report. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Members of various church bodies, including the League of African Churches, the Conference of Churches, the Council of Eswatini Churches, and the Muslim faith community, joined together in a memorial service for the late global leader of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis. He passed away on the 21st of April, and then he was laid to rest on the 26th of April, same month. Now, the Catholic Bishop of Eswatini, Bishop Jose Pons de Luis, spoke on depth about the significance of the memorial service.
And everyone was here to remember Pope Francis and to thank God for his ministry, these 12 years as Bishop of Rome and our Pope, witnessing to the resurrection of the Lord among us. But in a special way, we remember him for the way he has witnessed the mercy of the Father. This goes beyond the Catholic Church. Today at this celebration, there were members from the Council of Churches, the Conference of Churches, the League of African Churches. It talks about the ministry of Pope Francis together with other Christian churches, delegates from the Islamic faith, because Pope Francis also worked in the interreligious dialogue. Members of the diplomatic corps accredited here in the country. And we are deeply, deeply grateful for the presence of the Principal Secretary of the Minister of Home Affairs in the name of the Minister of Home Affairs and His Majesty's government. A sign of our working together. And we all remember His Majesty met Pope Francis last October in Rome. And so also the presence of the PS was a reminder of that beautiful moment.
Now, sports news. Mbutwe Eswatini Defence Force Athletics Club is amongst the most decorated and dominating clubs in the country when it comes to long-distance running. According to the team coach, Zwelingwenya, he says the team has a special training secret that inspires them to always be victorious in competitions.
Umbutho Eswatini Defence Force Athletics Club is one of the dominating athletics clubs in the country based on their recent performance in local competitions such as Mbobe Marathon, VOC Half Marathon, Lubombo Marathon, Wafa Wafa Half Marathon, and other different long-distance competitions in the country and also outside the country.
Team ye EUTF kwecala kuye kube ngilabaphathi bethu laba abasinikele isikhathi. 2
Zwelingwenya, who is the team coach, he says one of the top secrets for the team to ensure that they get better results is the way they train. Gwenya says the team lives, or rather performs, under the slogan, no pain, no gain.
Sikombita kuma 10 nala kuma 21 but nyalo nawubuka sesicalile kwenyuka sesisha kuma 42.
Coach labangale la ngisuka ngakhona le training yabayifananela ngamasotsheni. No pain, no gain.
2 senior athletes of the club, Nkulile Gogama and Siyabonga Twala, they do say that their training strategy is what has been the secret of the club. They believe that if they continue this way, they will not only conquer Africa, but the entire world.
Bayakhona kusibambisa kakhulu phinze noma sesiracer bayakhona nje lokubona lamaphutha ukuthi ayibakushiye ngenxa ukuthi
the recent performance by Melusi Kumaro in Iraq, where he was invited for a half marathon and ended up finishing up 5th in the competitions and returned home with an amount of 50,000 Marangani, is indeed a sign that the club has its special way of training and ensuring that they get results. For Satin TV Sports, Fabrizio Msonera, Mbabane.
In swimming news, local junior top swimmer Luca Fraser has clinched first place in the ongoing Junior Aquatic Swimming Championships currently underway in Cairo, Egypt. Now, Fraser was competing in the 100 meters breaststroke and completed in 1 minute 14 seconds.
The 16th edition of Africa Aquatics Junior Swimming Championships is currently underway in Cairo, Egypt, where the Kingdom of Eswatini is being represented by 2 junior top swimmers, being Luca Fraser and Hailey Howe. Under the category of 100-meter breaststroke, Luca Fraser managed to clinch first place by also getting a new personal record when finishing after 1 minute and 14 seconds. Swimming Association has applauded Fraser for his outstanding performance, wishing him all the best for his next competition on the 3rd of May, where he will be competing under the 50-meter breaststroke. Hailey Howe, the other swimmer representing the kingdom, begins her journey on the 1st of May, where she will be competing in 200-meter butterfly. And then on the 2nd of May, she will compete in 50-meter butterfly, and will conclude on the 3rd of May under the category of 100-meter butterfly. The championships games will finish on the 3rd of May this year. For Satin TV Sports, Fabrizio Msonera, picture source from the team in Cairo, Egypt.
Now, with those sports news, we hit the home stretch of the news at 10 at Eswatini TV. Before we go, a quick reminder of news-making headlines tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister has returned home following her official visit to Italy, where she represented His Majest King III and the nation at the funeral of Pope Francis. The Ministry of Health has received a fleet of 23 cars and laptops from the country coordinating mechanism through a grant from the Global Fund. And on sports news, Mbutwe Eswatini Defence Force Athletics Club is amongst the most decorated and dominating clubs in the country when it comes to long-distance running. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, that's how we come to the conclusion of the news at 10 at Eswatini TV. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. Up next, we cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the team at Eswatini Television. For now, it is good night and God bless.